There is a thin divide between what is perceived as spiritual and paranormal, for they are forever entwined throughout time. Traveling within the history of the world, we can find examples of spirituality that involves everything from magic, spirits, gods and goddesses, and seers or people said to be able to talk to the dead. We all have our belief systems and we all have our own truths. So come sit with Holly Jenkins and myself as we talk about all that and more. Welcome to Spiritually Paranormal. Hello.
Hey,
Hi, everybody. I see everybody's just starting to join in. So, hi, everybody, and hope you're all doing well.
hey, Margaret, Raylan. Raylan's actually here on time today. But where is Ruth? Where could she be?
I don't know, Miss Tada, who knows?
Mm-hmm,
So, as
mm-hmm.
we start out each week, we talk about each other's week. So, I'm going to let you begin with how last week worked for you.
Last week, what did I do last week? I don't even remember what I did last week. Uh, I have no idea. I'd have to go back and look and see. What did I publish?
Write another 100 books or.
No, no. I did two. I did the mischievous husky and the woodland cleanup.
That was cute. I saw it up on, I think,
Yep.
one of the accounts. I don't remember which one.
And All Hollows, little Halloween rhyming book is so cute. And Miko's Journey to the Summit. That was the actual story of the grandmothers when they took me to the summit for the first time. So I just turned it around and made it a monkey and his grandmother.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that would be cute because it was a good lesson.
Yeah.
And then I did Little Crow and More Than Just Me. And that was a poem I wrote years and years and years ago. So I made Little Crow the main character. And that's it. That's it. I didn't do a whole bunch of them, just like four.
Whatever, four. You're such a snack. I only wrote four this week. How
But
is that?
they were already pretty much written, two of them especially. So, it's
Well,
easy.
how did the supermoon hit you on last Thursday or
Oh
Friday?
yeah. That was crazy. It was well, I'll tell you the story about going to the freaking corn maze.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! So it was my bright idea, but we're just gonna pretend it was Robert's idea, okay? Because I don't have dumb ideas. It couldn't have been my idea. It was my idea, but we're gonna say it was Robert's idea, okay?
Okay.
Because this weekend it's going to be nice. It's going to be in the 60s, where last weekend, the day we went, was like almost 90 degrees in a big cornfield. There's no shade and there's no breeze in the middle of the cornfield.
Well, no.
Six and a half acre corn maze. And it said the people's time to get through it was 45 minutes. That was the best time. And people were, it's typically probably an hour, hour and a half. We walked around through there for about 30 minutes. My makeup is melting into my eyeballs. My eyes are on fire. And they didn't have any decorations or markers in this particular corn maze. It was just corn.
That's pretty
So
creepy.
you couldn't even tell. You didn't even know. Like, I don't know if we passed this junction 15 times or just one time. You just didn't know.
You mean you weren't dropping like little pieces of bread? So
No, but if I go again, I'm taking a marker and I'm putting little marks on those corn stalks. I'll tell you that right now. So, I mean, we were having fun, but they just got to the point where the heat was unbearable and we were going and we got to an exit. We come out. We had no clue where we were. We were almost by the entrance. They had several emergency exits, and we found one of the emergency exits. It wasn't the real.
How long were you walking in it? How long were you walking around?
We were in there for about 30 minutes or so.
Oh, God. I would have made my own exit.
I mean, it was unbelievable. And we were both, we looked at where we were and where we needed to be, and we were like, car. Let's go back to the car because it was just hot. On a cool day, it would have been too bad. But on that day, oh my gosh, it was. I mean, we were soaked. We were
Well,
drenched.
at least you had fun.
We did have. We did have fun. We did have fun. We did do that. So
Well, I called you over the weekend because I felt like I was in the novel The Lord of the Flies. For whatever crazy reason.
Oh yeah, your fly problem.
I'm like, I still don't know. Okay, so folks, it didn't bother me at first until I had a lot. But I actually one day I killed at least like something like 48 flies. And I mean, over the time period of the 4 days, I've probably killed well over 100 inside the house, like regular house flies. Cannot find out where they're coming from. We've checked. I had Lindsay over. We checked all the windows. We checked all the pipes, that go for exhaust and all that.
Check your plants.
Yep, check the plants, the floors. I even did stick my head down the crawl, because it's in one of the bedrooms. So I lifted it and looked in, hung upside down, about killed myself. Nothing under the house. There weren't even flies under the house. So. Yeah, and I thought I got rid of them 2 days ago, but yesterday, no, I had another 30 something, and I got up this morning and I thought, oh, I better not be seeing flies in the house. They're back, and I've killed probably 8 of them this morning, and now I see them.
That's crazy.
Now I've got 2 of them, but they're on the outside screen of the house, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
Especially this time of year, that's just weird.
Well, that's why I called you, because I wasn't sure it wasn't something else. Well,
I wasn't picking up on anything that was, evil or bad, no negative vibes. I just don't know where on earth what was going on.
Well, but I didn't tell you everything that went on. Okay, so first of all, just so you know, and I believe this was Sunday night, I'm not sure. However, for everybody who knows me, and for all of those of you listening that don't know me, I do not drink alcohol of any sort. Haven't since I was 23. I don't smoke stuff or take stuff. I have 2 pills that I take every day. One is a muscle relaxant, which is not a narcotic, but it's for my back. Been taking it for years. I take one, and then I take my amitriptyline, which is for my nerves in my legs. So somehow or another, I usually take, this is an empty one, but I'll take them at night, and then I flip them over so I know I took them, right? I have only got 2 bottles. So somehow or another, I didn't turn them over. So I didn't have the amitriptyline, but I thought, oh, God, if I don't take the muscle relaxer, I'm going to be in trouble because it's my back, right? So I took one. Well, what I didn't realize is I had already took one an hour prior, right?
But didn't turn the bottle over.
And they're not narcotics, but all of a sudden I had, and this was like before anything really hit me, I was seeing again, like, spirit in my room. They were in the house, but it was like an overload of them. And about 20 minutes later, I was so high, I could not function. Like, I wouldn't get up out of bed because sitting on the bed, because I
wish I had known in the moment. I would have been messing with you so hard.
Well, I have witness to what happened. I did, and it was 2:00 in the morning, and I actually almost called you.
You were talking to Ruth.
Almost, yep. So I got Ruthie in. So, but she's one of 5 people that responded because I sent messages out, and I don't usually do that. So I'm gonna bring Ruthie in. Y'all get to meet. Ta-da! Ta-da! And look, I gave her heads up. So I told her, you got to come on and tell the story because I'm gonna let her tell.
I should have put my name as Ta-da, huh?
Oh yeah, well, ta-da! Yeah. Now everybody gets to see. Ta-da!
Oh, gee, I've been hiding for years.
She's here on time.
I've been hiding for years.
Look, why would she hide, right? I wouldn't. Ta-da! So I wound up texting her in Messenger, which actually I didn't even think about because I do have your phone number too, right? So she got back to me and I hit, we got on the video chat and I was sitting there and I told her what I did. And I was I felt better with her there, but I was really, and it wasn't that I was scared. It was, I was freaking out because I was high and I couldn't shut
Right.
the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Once the door is open, if you can't have the ability to close it, and when you're drinking or anything like that, that's why I don't drink or take narcotics. Everything was in the house. And I had dozed off before I got a hold of Ruthie. And when I woke up, I thought Mulan was laying on my legs, right? Because I was like, oh God. And I sat up and I'm like, Moo, get off my, and I think, God, she feels heavy. It was Tux. And I could see Tux. And he got off my legs and walked up a little bit to me. I was actually petting him. And I was like, God, Tux, why are you here? And then, like I said, I see all these spirits all over. So I get her on the phone and I'm going to hand it to you, Ruth, so you can tell them what you saw. And then we'll talk about it a little more.
Okay. What would be Bear's left side where Milan was sleeping? There's this, and I've never seen this before. You guys got to understand, I've never seen spirit before. Fear, I don't know what it is. There was something there. It was this little red, actually, it was a reddish orange glowing orb, and it was bouncing up and down on Milan. I couldn't see Tux, but I knew something was there. And Bear and I are still talking, so I'm glad she did a video. Well, then I looked to her left, and there's two more orbs, two blue orbs. I don't know who those were, but I knew the one by Milan was Tux. It just had that feline type feeling. But I don't usually see this stuff. So I was shocked and blessed at the same time. And I was freaking out with Bear at the same time, trying
said,
not
oh my God, you see him? She goes, yeah. I go, oh, thank God. Because I really thought it was possibly the muscle relaxants, but they were there. And
I saw them.
And I saw them like energy. They were like like royal blue, but bright royal. That's all I could see. Like
that's
in their eyes.
the one to the right. The two look like two royal blue eyes.
And those come through to me when the pets come through. That's usually,
okay.
Yeah, that's usually the pets.
Okay.
But we were on the phone for about a half hour, and they never left.
They never left.
So it was crazy. And
it was, and I felt blessed. Hey, they let me see them.
I don't believe they have left yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're here.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank goodness we did the video chat instead of her calling me, on the regular phone.
And then I was freaking out with her saying, oh my God, you can see him. You really see him. So it's not just this muscle relaxation.
And I'm trying not to laugh because Bear freaking out is something new to me.
I would have been laughing. I would have been laughing.
I was trying not to, Holly. I was really trying not to.
I would have been telling some stories.
Yeah.
I would have been even making some stuff up. I would have messed with her so hard. So it's a good thing she didn't get a hold of me.
Well, the thing is,
and I would have recorded the whole thing.
I didn't think of recording it.
Did you?
No, I should have. Darn.
Believe me, I was just grateful she saw them, but I knew the pets were here because for whenever I get that feeling, and it's not very often, but like I said, this opened the door. So all of them came back, and they've always done that. Even when I fell and busted my leg up while I was recovering here, Tux and I have a special bond, and I talked to Ruthie about that night too. He was, before I brought him in the house, I took care of him from the time he was a kitten outside, and he could go in my shed in the winter. He had a really like a down covered bed area for himself to keep warm. I fed
Right.
and
Yeah.
watered him every day. And then I finally got to the point where I said, you know what, bud, you need to just come in. Because I'd let him in the house to eat and then let him back out. And it was like, it's time for him to come in. So he had 3 years with me. And I don't think he would have made it that long outside. And then he wound up passing with kidney failure. But when I took him to the vet, we didn't know what was going on. And they walked in and I said, I can't let him suffer anymore. And I held him when he passed. But he was my cat. We chose each other.
Right.
These aren't my cats, but the others were my mom's and Taylor's, and Mulan was the ex's, and they were my cats in the sense that I was in the house with them. But Tux was my chosen, and he chose me, and he was just as heavy on my dang legs as he used to when he laid on them. So
Right.
I was just grateful that it was
Somebody else saw them.
yeah, but that it was her. Not that I wouldn't have appreciated anybody else, but I think it was as much for her as it was.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because I'm doubting myself. Right. I want, when Boone comes again, you need to call me.
Well, Tux is large and proud, and he actually, I believe that was what you saw on the right of me. I believe that was Boone and Freckles, because they usually come in together. And I didn't
Okay.
saw 2 sets of eyes on that side.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I was like shocked. I don't see these things.
because we were talking, and she goes, "Wait, Vera, look behind you." And I'm like looking behind me, and I'm like, well, I see a lot of stuff. So what are you talking about? I was like, you could see them? Really? You could see them? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, whew.
Yeah, I was like shocked.
I was overwhelmed.
She was. I've never seen her so freaked out.
Well, wait till you see something in person.
Thanks, Holly.
Well, you know what Holly always tells me? Don't send it to me. I think both of us should send
No,
it.
no. I have a dome around my house, so you can't send me anything.
Well, that's why I laughed. Somebody said, that stuff wouldn't scare me. I said, normally stuff doesn't scare me. I mean, it just doesn't, because I'm used to it. But when you're high and you don't have control, and it's like, I kept telling, before I got hold of, or Ruthie got hold of me, I was like, leave. I don't want you in here. Leave. And they're not going to listen to you, because you don't have control at that point.
No.
So I'm like, oh my God. And so people are like, well, your house is active. Does it bother you? I said, no, it usually bothers everybody else that's here if they're staying over for a few days or whatever. But I said, I see this all the time, but it's controlled, not like this. This was like they were having parties in every other room. I could hear them talking. But Tux just stayed the critters just stayed right up around me, and they were like protecting the area of the bed.
That's what I felt, that they were, around her, where well, we might as well let Ruth see us.
Well, then, and what did I say to you? I was sitting here, I go, Ruth, I got to turn the light on. And I said, I don't know if I can walk. She goes, don't get up, you'll fall again. Like I did back in February, right? And I'm like, no, you're on the phone. At least somebody will be there if it happens. You can.
Yeah, but I got yelled at the last time because I snitched to Taylor.
Taylor, not a good thing. And that was not when I was like this. But so I got up and I was grabbing furniture, and all I did was I put the light on the computer screen, so at least I had some light. But I if I had, it wouldn't have been pretty. Can tell you that.
Yep.
I wish I had been there. I wish I had seen it.
Well, she's a witness, so she's a witness, so I'm not crazy.
No, you're crazy, but
that's debatable.
We know you're crazy, but
I mean, it was crazy, and
it was. I mean, I've never, in all the years I've known you, seen you freaked out.
Yeah, I just don't. That was really intense. I was literally. Well, okay, so something you didn't know prior to that, I actually had called the cops before I had taken the pills, because somebody broke into my shed and it was like, I don't know, around 11, and they were walking in between the house, and they knocked into my grill. I have a stainless steel grill, and they knocked stuff over. And I'm like, you know what? I'm almost 63 years old. I am not going outside, because in this day and age, you just don't know who they are.
No idea.
I had called down to the state post, and I said, somebody just broke into my shed, and I said they walked up between, and it was a man and a girl, but they were like in their 20s. They were young. And so the cops had come out, and they came out pretty quick, and they looked around, couldn't find anything. But yeah, the garage had been open, nothing had been taken. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not going out. He says, you don't have to. This day and age, it's just too crazy. So then I go to bed, and this happens. So it's like, yay! And then the cops came back after we hung up, and they knew I had my window open. So they say, Miss Birch, are you okay still? Everything? I said, yeah. And he's starting to talk to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't get up out of bed. So I did, but I wall climbed, and I had to go back into the laundry room because my desk is here, so I can't like lean into the window.
Right.
So I'm leaning on the freezer. And the windowsill going, yeah, because I didn't want him to think I was like,
Yeah. Maybe they didn't take anything because Tux and Freckles were in the shed first.
Who knows?
That would have been funny.
I appreciate you coming on, Miss Tada.
Yeah, but next time I come on, I'll put Tada.
Okay. All right, I love you. Now I don't know what Holly's going to get us into, but thank you so much for validating. Love you. Bye. Oh my God, it was insane. It really was insane, and because it was at 2:00 in the morning, that's why I just sent texts out. And I thought somebody will respond, and if they don't, I will be calling somebody
because you felt like you were going crazy. Yeah,
I was overwhelmed. Well, I was overwhelmed, and it wasn't really.
Oh, look, it's 222.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't like so much fear as it was so much overwhelming because I could hear.
Yeah.
It was too much at once.
Yeah.
That I had to have something else to concentrate on. So, but for her to see it, I was like, yes, and it was good that she was able to see it too.
Well, on top of that, you took muscle relaxers. So then you also aren't physically able to defend yourself against anything because you can't.
No, I did too.
That was just another whammy on top of it.
Well, and to let you know, these tablets are only 5 milligrams. Okay. So when I take one, it's just enough because if I don't take them at night, when I get up in the morning, like, we were talking before, our backs, I can't get up and there's a lot of pain. So I have to take one, but it's only 5 milligrams. I've been taking it for the past 4 years, just one at night. So the fact that I took 2 and it's only 10 milligrams, that tells you what a lightweight I am with alcohol or drugs. That's why when they take me to surgery, it takes them 12 hours to get me to wake up after I'm done. And they get worried, right? And they're poking me and like, and I'm like, I can't come out of it. So, yeah. So when do what we do, don't take stuff.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. I highly recommend not to do it.
I even said to Ruth, I said, when I was in school, because I stopped everything like when I was 23, I just didn't do it. But when I was like in high school, junior and senior year, 17 and 18, my sister had cancer, my older sister, and she had 2 younger children. And I was depressed. I was, how could something happen to her? I was adopted. Maybe I wasn't supposed to be here. You do all that kind of crazy stuff when you're younger. And so I drank and smoked weed till I was like 23. And then finally I just cold turkey stopped. It was like, you can't keep doing this to yourself. Right. So I don't. But I remember, I think I said it to Ruthie. I said, oh my God. I said, I never did anything but weed and mostly beer, but I drink vodka every now and then. But that's way back when. I said, but I remember people telling me about when they dropped acid. And I never did any of that. Never did anything but weed and beer. And I had people I knew people that lost their business to coke and all that kind of stuff. I never tried it, never have wanted to try it. But I think I said this to her. I said, "Oh my God." I said, "This reminds me of what people have told me about dropping acid, their acid trips." And honest to God, that's what it felt like.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if that's what it would feel like, but you know what I mean. So,
Right.
okay, so moving on, what topic are we talking about today?
Well, I thought we would talk about, since today there was a huge conspiracy, well, lots of different conspiracies on what was really happening today with the emergency broadcast systems test.
What was going on? I was like, this is the national one. I
Yes.
haven't had one of those in years I mean, like way back in my 30s.
Right, right. Well, so there was like tons of conspiracies going around. What this was about, what it's for, what's happening. Some people were saying that we were actually going to war. Some people were saying that it was going to activate anybody that got the jab, because of course they put nanotechnology in the jab, and they did do that. But they were saying it was going to activate this and activate that. That there were some people saying it was to lower our vibration, to lower our frequencies. There were lots of things going on. The thing I wanted to talk about was feeding on that fear. Because let me tell you, from now, I mean, it's been going on since 2020. It really started to ramp up like crazy. But moving into up to the election, there's going to be a ton more of craziness going on, because it's all about smoke and mirrors, distraction, and different sides pushing their particular agendas.
Yeah, and it's really, really odd agenda. The things that are happening are like
it's
first
this
time in history. It's like
mass insanity. It is what it is. And so we just have to make sure that we are not feeding into that fear, because we have the collective energy, and every thought, every word, every action that we do adds to that collective energy. And when you add all this fear into that, what do you think that's going to do for everyone? Right.
Yeah, not going to be good.
No, it's not good. So we have to consciously stay mindful of the energy that we are projecting out, what we're listening to, what we're feeding not only our bodies, but also our minds, and what we're allowing ourselves to believe. We have to constantly make sure that we are sending out the energy of love and light and healing and hope and those kinds of things.
I will tell you, when it went off on my phone, I was in this room and the phone was in the other room. And I thought, what the heck? And I thought, that doesn't sound right. And when I walked and I looked, and it said it was only a test, but they had it on my phone, it was in English and in Spanish. Okay. And when I looked at it and it said the Federal National Alert, and I'm looking at it and I go, oh, first thing that popped in my head is, oh, we have nuclear threats right now. China and Russia have gotten, that was like, and I didn't add to it, but I thought, oh, Russia and China are playing because they're getting nervous. So they're putting this on and making sure it still works, and I just set my phone down. But because you said this, that was the thought that came into my head. And I thought, yeah, we're in a really, really nasty place.
Oh, there were some people saying that there was going to be a doomsday plane flying at the exact same time that these messages were going to roll out. There are all kinds of conspiracies and loads of videos on every single one of those ideas. And it's just feeding the fear.
Well, it's
pulling people in and feeding it like a monster that just continued to grow.
Yeah, it's mass hysteria. That's exactly what they're creating. And if you think back, like, it was in the days when J. Edgar Hoover was going after communists in the entertainment business and across the high position people. That's when Orson Welles did his radio show broadcast about the aliens coming in. I don't even remember what it was, but
the worlds. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And it caused mass hysteria. So, yeah. And yesterday was I actually shut it off because I put it on and I just shook my head. And I actually said this last week was, and I posted it. I said, Kevin, Kevin, Kevin. And I said, he's going to be gone. I knew he was going to be gone. I knew they'd only tolerate him for so long. And then I'm like, wow, okay. So then just before I went to bed last night, I flicked on, and I didn't know because I hadn't watched the news that they had booted him out. And then I see all this stuff that they're talking about, and I said, this is chaos. And a couple people are like, why didn't they stay? They're taking a week off, and we've got the national budget is going to be due again in 43 days. Like, why are they doing this? So yeah, the chaos that's going on right now is for a reason. It's absolutely,
absolutely. They want everyone to be dazed and confused and not having a clue what's going on and what's coming next. And they want to desensitize us as well. Because look, what was it last month? They told us that aliens were real, like we didn't already know that. And we are all like, and let them come. Let them help us. We need them.
I still think that part of that is because they've always been here, and just because we all have phones now that take videos, I think people are just spreading truth out there. And government, not only ours, but the world powers. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. I don't feel like they are truly separate governments. I think they are all really one government. But that to the side, look at your own personal lives and how you may be feeding into the wrong kind of energy on just a regular basis. Like 2 of my daughters, Stacy and Michaela, both of them are not happy with their current. So they have a habit of just putting all that energy on me, calling me up and griping and complaining and going on and on and on and on and on and on about all this negativity. And I stopped them. And I'm like, look, you're lowering my frequency right now. You're lowering my vibe. I don't want to listen to it. I said, if you don't like it, you have to change it. You can't just keep going on and pointing out the negative constantly, every single day, day in and day out. I said, what are you doing to yourself? If you don't like it, you change it, but don't stop bitching about it. Stop feeding into that negative energy.
When I did my stream yesterday, and I don't remember the people that were in it, but when I pulled cards, it was about the same thing. Everything that came through for a lot of the reads I did yesterday was, okay, so they're showing me, like, I think I pulled a Badger card, and it's like they're showing me you're so stuck where you're at that everything is everybody else's fault. You're not taking your responsibility in it, and you're not pushing all those negatives away. You're sucking them in.
Right.
And when we do this, what we have to understand is we're in charge, not anybody else. So if people are like constantly berating you or telling you shouldn't do this, or, you'll never find the right person to take care of whatever it is, the issue, you're not gonna, because you're pulling that all in. You have to change your outlook.
And we have to also stop people. Like when someone comes into our life, they call us up, or we're talking to them in person, or wherever we are, and they want to start gossiping and talking crap about somebody. You stop them. Like, look, that's not my vibe. That's not my energy. You don't continue listening, because what you're doing is you're taking on all of that negative energy that they are pouring out onto you.
And I do remember also telling them that we have to be the ones to change it. So if they're not going to change, you need to, without guilt, put them on the outside.
Well, some people don't even realize what they're doing until you make that statement, until you say, look, this is not the frequency we're at right now. When they think about it, then they will stop. Well, some people won't, because...
Well, it's the same thing like with change, right? People always say, oh, I hate change. And I keep reminding us all,
change is what we need.
But from the moment we're conceived, we are changing every single moment. Doesn't matter if it's our environment, doesn't mean if it could be us, it could be what we've got around. Every moment of our lives. We're in change. So people can't, they need to push that thought away. And if they're like, oh, I don't want to do that, and they're resistant, I've often told them, and I'll tell them this till I'm blue in the face, is if you don't open your box, like you've got yourself in a bubble or you've got yourself tight in a box, if you don't open that to new things coming in, good, bad, or indifferent, you're never going to grow. You're going to be this person that's stuck. And you want to know why you're stuck. You want to know why good things aren't happening. It's because you're not allowing them to happen.
And you keep allowing people and things to come into your life that lower your frequency. You need to constantly, in order to grow and to get to that place you want to be, you have to constantly be raising your vibration, raising your frequencies. And by welcoming in all of that negative energy, that's not going to happen.
A friend of mine wrote about something, and because of the crazy week I've had, I haven't finished it, but I sat down and started channeling what I was supposed to channel. And one of the big things too, like with the vibration, a lot of people are like, wow, I don't know why. And people aren't like making sense to me anymore. And it's, you have to push them out of the way. And you don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be cruel about it. But it's also not our responsibility to make sure all these other people are lifted, because they need to lift themselves.
Right.
We have to stop enabling it. And I know there's a lot of people out there, her and I included, we're fixers. And I had to put a stop to fixing. And I did that a number of years ago. And I can't tell you the relief it comes when you stop. And then they look at you like, well, gee, you always fixed this for us before. Well, you know what? You're 40 years old. Get off your dumb butt and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have to change. And then I'm also seeing, which is really interesting to me, we were talking about grays or aliens or whatever you want to call them, it's a different kind of energy. More and more people that do readings and stuff, more and more people I'm seeing kind of across the way are seeing and connecting with them. And it's like they're trying to give us a message. And I know within my culture around here in Michigan that I've talked with people, and I've been able to connect for a long time, but we call them star seeds. And I've connected with them for a long time, but then I kind of put them out of mind till this year. And then now I'm starting to see and hear again. And Yolanda Martinez was talking about it as well. And she's actually with a international group, but it's healing. And they use that, what they call the starseed energy, right? And I think that they're here more prominently right now because we're in a, like you said, we're in a really bad spot right now, worldwide, not just where we live, worldwide.
Right. It's crazy. And we go just every single day, we have to remind ourselves not to feed into that fear.
But we can also tap into that other energy to help us if we need it.
Right.
And I think that's another thing too. Because this is all going on, people are seeing more and hearing more and witnessing more. Because I can say that if I had that, what happened to me like 10, 15 years ago, I don't think anybody would have seen it, even if they were in the house. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, it's just, yeah, it's just a lot. Yeah, Susie, they are. It's kind of crazy sometimes, but yeah, I think they are. It was funny because we were talking about, and I think we were talking about last week something, and we both brought up the Mothman, right? How interesting it is, and the perspectives, and somebody brought that up to me with this week, like, you know, what they thought it was, and it was interesting because they also felt it was like a fallen angel. But what I mean by that is their energy, but he's like gotta do this to help where he screwed up, or it screwed up somewhere. So people are seeing this more and more, and they're understanding with a different kind of clarity. And I just think that's really fascinating. I just think it's super fascinating.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be up to this week? What are you going to be doing?
Well, surprisingly, I just wrote one book this week. That's all. And I've got a few others that I'm toying with, but I'm waiting for the inspiration to do the illustrations for them, or finding the right topic to that really, that
Mhm.
really fuels you and makes you get you really excited. I've got a bunch of stories I've already got done, but not illustrated because they're not exciting me yet. It's not
Well,
time for them yet.
well, I guess that's part of it too. It's really interesting how things are shifting, even with us. You know what we do, and I think I told you over the last weekend. I had done earlier this year before I screwed up my leg. I made a bunch of spirit walkers,
Yep, yep.
and I
And
sent
then
them
you
in,
forgot to put the holes in them.
and I got them all finished. I painted them, I glazed them, and I went to put them on with,
Are
you
you on
know,
the Wi-Fi?
dream catchers or whatever, and next thing I knew, I realized I hadn't put the holes in them, and you can't drill them.
Ruth just called us slackers.
Whatever.
I can't,
Whatever.
I
She
can't
goes,
believe
it's going to her head because she got on the show with us.
it.
What are you doing, Ruth? What
Yeah, Ruth,
the
what
heck
are you
are you
doing?
doing? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, there is one thing I wanted to do so bad. I started. I had the thought, and I could visually see it in my mind over the weekend. So when I came in Monday, I was so excited. I went on to my AI program to work on the illustrations because I get AI to do the illustrations for me. I wanted to do a Dreamcatcher how-to for children, but
Okay.
it was not giving me what I needed. Like I was just telling it to wrap the hoop with string or yarn or something like that. No, 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 it was giving me everything but.
I don't
So
like the guy.
what I'm going to have to do with that one, because I still think it's a great idea and I want to do that one. I'm going to have to, because I have the steps written out for it. But I need the illustration. So I'm going to physically sit down and take pictures and then maybe change them more into a cartoony type photo with some apps to do the how to, because AI was not understanding what I was telling it.
Making homemade soup. Ta-da.
Yeah, Raylan, I only got one this week so far, but the week's not over with, so shush.
Well, I'm not. You brought up AI. Okay, they're used, and actually, right now, I'm kind of interested in seeing it, but it's at the theaters right now. It's called The Creator, and it's about a
Oh
little
yeah,
boy,
I don't even want to watch that.
but he's AI, so he's
Yeah.
a computer, right? But he's like made the rest of them is human, so it's kind of weird. But I don't know if you've been noticing, and I don't know if any of you guys listening today are hearing it or seeing it, but AI is in more stuff than we think.
Oh,
Like,
it's in tons of things. Yeah.
but what's amazing is even some of the commercials that are using it, or I'll see stuff online and I'm like, what, like somebody will put up a video or something. I'm like, that's not human. That's like wasn't made from film. And I'm like looking at it and I'm like, holy crap. If they can manipulate it this well, they can manipulate.
They can take your voice and manipulate your voice and have you saying in your voice
Yep.
something you've never said. So, yeah, it can be very, very dangerous in the wrong hands, but a lot of things can be dangerous in the wrong hands.
But visually as well. You look
Oh, yeah.
at there's a new it's a guy thing for the PlayStations and the Xboxes and stuff. It's the Assassin's Creed. It's like, I don't know, the game 20 or something. I mean, they've got all kinds of versions going way back. But I was watching the commercial for it, and I literally thought it was film of somebody, like an action film, right? And then I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, holy crap, that's AI. I mean, they looked so real. And when they were speaking, it was like you or I were speaking. And I'm like, then I started watching the commercials. And then I'd watch and I'd see commercials come up of things that I had mentioned out loud in the house, and I'm like, holy crap. And I know they can tap in. That's why I always laugh. People are like, I don't want the government. And I'm like, yeah, dude, the government can find out whatever they want for you. They've got video cameras everywhere, your phones, your smart TVs. That's all that they are. And it doesn't even matter. I don't think that they're off.
No.
I don't know about anybody else, but I think that even is able to do it when they're not on, so we think they're on.
100%, yeah.
I also had, but I was saying about the TVs, I was in the house and my daughter's young sister that she's taking care of, Lindsay, she was here and we were talking about something and the TV flicked on. And I was like, did you hear the whistling? Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's here. There's nobody out here right now.
What? Okay.
Just kind of weird.
Oh, let me check.
The TV turned on, and again, the music app came open and played a song I had never heard.
No problem.
But I thought, good, because somebody else is here now. I can actually watch that. Yeah, I don't know where the whistling's coming from. It's really weird. Yeah. Now Pip's agitated. So, yeah. Oh, here, guys. This is what our Pippy has been doing. They're not fertilized, but look at how tiny. See? That's her egg. That's her little tiny egg. Yeah, I don't know who's whistling. It's crazy. Did you see this, Holly? Look.
What is that?
It's Pip's egg. She laid an egg.
Aww.
It's a dud, and she knew it was a dud.
Tiny.
Yeah, aren't they? They're just little.
Itty bitty.
But coming out of her, they're not. And she's so hormonal. They're not fertilized because they don't like each other. But
yeah.
But I did keep this because somebody said, "How big are they?" And it's like, no, they're just little tiny things.
Teeny tiny.
Anyway, so yeah, it's been kind of crazy. And like I said, when Lindsay was here the other day, the TV turned on by itself. And then later on, we were watching something, the thing turned off by itself and it wouldn't go back. We couldn't get it to go back on. And it was like, okay, well, apparently we're not supposed to be doing this.
Right, exactly.
Right. So I don't know. No, Phoenix is right here. He's not well. Oh, no, I take it back. He's over here. Hang on. You can see him. Hi, buddy. You're not whistling, though. You're pretty quiet. Yes, you're pretty quiet. You're pretty quiet, huh? Yeah, what are you doing? What were you doing? Oh, yeah, you're clucking. Huh? You're clucking. Yep. Yep. That's how he whistles. He doesn't whistle. Do you? Look how pink he's gotten again. He's got... Anyway, so there you go. There's our boy. You sit right here, bud. Sticking his head in here. So anyway, that's what's been going on all week, and I hope your week is better than mine coming up.
It's been crazy, but it's not been bad. Let's just say that. It's been a little just, I don't know, strange. We have to always remember that we are in a time now where we have extreme change going on. Of course, it's fall here as well, so that's the whole earth is changing, and the vibration of consciousness is changing as well. Everyone's waking up, so it's going to be crazy for a bit.
Well, they're waking up, and they're also crazy.
Oh yeah, they're totally crazy. Totally crazy.
People.
Totally crazy. Like my boss, for instance, he's a wacko. He just came in a few minutes ago.
That's okay. It's all good. Yeah, yeah. Well,
he heard me right, so he has to be a little crazy.
Well, yeah, they all around us. Yeah, no, Booney. Yeah, Booney. I'll have to call you at 3 a.m. if he does again. So I'll let you know. But he's a good boy. He's a good boy too. Do you have pets that have come back for you, or you don't? You're not really a pet person, though, are you?
Well, I used to have pets all the time, but now Michaela has all the pets in the house. She has chinchillas. She has a ferret. She has a snake. She has a bearded dragon. And of course, we have ghosts and we have the chickens.
Chickens.
Yeah,
I forgot about your chickens.
I've got chickens.
How many do you have?
I think we've got 12 or 13 now.
Oh,
We did
that's not.
we did have 20, but we had to get rid of the males, because the roosters, because they were being very mean to the girls. And now we just have hens.
And they're happy.
Oh, they're super happy. Get fresh eggs every day.
That's crazy. They only lay eggs, from what I remember, like from a year to 2 years that they lay.
No, they'll continue laying eggs after 2 years. They just don't do it as frequent.
Oh, okay. Well, friend of mine that was a farmer, she said after they stop, laying every day, they go in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Good chicken.
Yep.
Good chicken. All right. Well, we're a little early today, but I think that's going to be a good time to go on that note. And I love you tons, and thank everybody for stopping in. It was a little bit of crazy. It was nice for you all to meet today, though. I was really appreciative of that. So thank you. Yeah, tell her what.
Hey, don't forget to turn the bottle over next time.
Oh, I was like, what bottle? And I'm thinking, no. It's like in a different place, and no, I won't do that again. Now, because it put the fear of God into me, kind of. So I'm going to be paying more attention to it, and it'll be stuck in my head. Maybe that's what I needed to do.
Yep, that's probably it.
But anyway, all right, everybody, that's going to be the show today. Y'all have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you here next time on Spiritually Paranormal. Take it easy, guys.
Bye, everyone.